In this video, I'm going to be ranking the 10 best rides at Walt Disney World in Florida, according to, well, my personal preferences actually. Now, it was quite challenging for me to create this list as there are obviously numerous excellent rides at Walt Disney World. However, tough choices were made, and these are the top 10 that I have selected. But before we get into that, I do just want to have a brief moment of silence for Splash Mountain, which would definitely have made it onto this list had it still been open. But as you might already know, it's sadly closed recently to make way for the upcoming Princess and the Frog themed Tiana's Bayou Adventure ride. And although I'm sure this new attraction will be great, I'm still going to miss Splash Mountain just a little bit every time I go. Okay then, so with that out of the way, let's get into my current top 10 rides. At number 10, we've got the classic Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and this one definitely holds a special place in my heart as it was always a favourite of mine growing up. Now, over the years, there have been some modifications and bits and pieces added or taken away, such as the animatronic Johnny Depp, and then of course the removal of the old redhead scene a few years ago. Nonetheless, this continues to be a must-visit attraction for me whenever I visit the Magic Kingdom. It just doesn't feel as if my trip is complete unless I've ridden it at least once each time I visit. Number 9. Tower of Terror has been one of my all-time favourite rides since it opened. The spooky atmosphere created by the unique blend of Mediterranean and Spanish Gothic architecture, along with the abundance of cobwebs and dusty desks, combined with the eerie background music, makes for an unforgettable experience, and that's even before the ride begins. Then when you throw in a Twilight Zone storyline featuring ghosts and a multiple drop ride, that makes this attraction an absolute must-do for anyone visiting Hollywood Studios. So this next ride is located in close proximity to our previous ride, and it has the 8th spot on my list. It is of course the Rock and Roller Coaster featuring Aerosmith. The enormous guitar structure outside the ride leads to a launch coaster inside, which accelerates you from 0 to 60 miles an hour in only 2.8 seconds. This is then followed by 3 inversions, 2 rollover loops and a corkscrew, and it's all accompanied by a typically energetic rock soundtrack performed by Aerosmith. This is definitely a must-try attraction for those who love a good launch coaster. Now, I think this next ride is a little bit of a hidden gem, and is located at the heart of Dino Land USA in Animal Kingdom. It is of course Dinosaur. Now this ride is a pretty wild and exciting dark ride that takes you back in time to rescue an ill-fated Iguanodon from the mass extinction that wiped out most life on Earth. Along the way, you will encounter several friendly prehistoric creatures as well as a not-so-friendly Carnotaurus that appears to have its sights set on devouring you. This one's dark, it's noisy, and it's a ton of fun, which is why it's my number 7 pick. Coming in at number 6, we have the wildest ride in the wilderness. No, I'm not going to do the cowboy impression this time. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. This ride is a must-do when visiting the Magic Kingdom, as it is an iconic part of the park. Even as a child, I remember seeing advertisements for Disney World with Big Thunder Mountain on them, and it's not just nostalgia, this ride is an absolute blast. You should definitely add it to your to-do list. Continuing with the roller coaster theme, my number 5 pick is Expedition Everest. This ride is located in the Asia section of Disney's Animal Kingdom and takes you on a journey aboard a train that's headed towards the summit of Mount Everest in search of the legendary Yeti. However, things quickly go awry and your peaceful expedition turns into a thrilling runaway train ride that has you hurtling backwards before having you take a plunge down an 80-foot drop and coming face to face with the infamous Yeti. This ride is just brilliant, and in my opinion, it's even better when experienced at night. Just fantastic. Okay, so number 4, a little bit different. I'm gonna go with Tron Lightcycle Run for number 4 on my list, thanks mainly to that incredible launch. I just think it's super fun and the soundtrack is great, even if the ride itself is a little bit, how do we put this diplomatically? It's brief, shall we say. Plus, of course, it still has that new attraction buzz about it. Things may change in the future, but for now it's number 4. Now, before we get into my top 3 rides at Walt Disney World, I just want to thank you for watching this far and ask that if you're enjoying this video, please leave it a thumbs up so that I might please the YouTube algorithm gods. Thanks. Now, my 3rd pick is one of the 2 rides situated in Pandora, the world of Avatar, again located within Animal Kingdom. Flight of Passage is of course the ride that I'm referring to, and although it was once known mainly for its ridiculously long wait times, things have calmed down a bit at long last, meaning it's now much more accessible to everyone. This attraction is honestly too amazing to pass up if you get the chance to ride it, as you'll become immersed in the experience by embodying an actual Na'vi avatar and riding a Banshee through what can only be described as incredible scenery. You actually get to feel the Banshee breathing underneath you. I mean, it's not a Banshee, it's a ride vehicle obviously, but the effect is just amazing, and it has a stunning soundtrack. The attention to detail in everything here just contribute to make this an absolute must-do attraction. Solid number 3. Star Wars Rise of the Resistance makes my number 2 this time around. Found in the incredibly detailed Galaxy's Edge section of Hollywood Studios, I can honestly say that in all my years of visiting theme parks, I have never felt so completely immersed in a ride and so invested in the storyline as I did when I first rode Rise of the Resistance. It is literally like being in a Star Wars movie. It's got animatronics, it's got live actors, it kind of has a roleplay element to it, which is kind of fun, with the cast members really hamming it up as the First Order. It's fantastic. It's got simulator ride elements. It literally has everything. And I do think that one of the best parts of all this is that you don't actually have to be a huge Star Wars fan to love it. Unfortunately, the same complexities that make this attraction great are also the reason that this ride is plagued by breakdowns and malfunctions. And it's due to this unreliable nature that this year round, this ride has slipped to number 2 on my list. I do still really like it though, it's honestly brilliant when it works. And at the top of my list of rides you definitely want to be checking out when you go to Walt Disney World is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, which can be located in EPCOT. Now, it's not a surprise that this is my number 1 pick because of its exciting 80s soundtrack and the ride itself, which is thrilling, has the rotating ride vehicles, it's got a launch, it's brilliant. However, do be warned that the acting in the pre-shows is a little bit stiff. I mean, no hate there, guys, but it's not the best acting I've ever seen. I'm going to be honest. Not that I'd be any better, but you know what I'm saying. It's not the best, but it's still fun. And of course, there is a drawback that you do have to go through that process of securing a place in a virtual queue. But putting all that to one side for a second, this is definitely a ride which is going to provide you with a good time. That is, of course, unless you're prone to motion sickness, in which case it might be best to avoid it because it can make people a little bit sick because of all the twisty turny bits. But honestly, I think this is a deserving number 1 spot this time around. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, maybe check out this video next.